Channels Television's breaking news.
Kerajaan memutuskan untuk melaksanakan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan mulai 18 Mac 2020 hingga 31 Mac 2020 di seluruh negara.
COVID-19 or coronavirus was originated from Wuhan in China in December 2019. Since then, it has spread in more than 210 countries and territories. It is a viral disease due to the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. Okay, now, do you know what is coronavirus? Coronavirus belong to the Coronaviridae family and appear just like speckling when observed through an electron microscope. The surface look like various spikes, which are helpful to attack and bind living cells. This causes the severe illness like MERS-CoV and SARS-CoV. As we know, there is no available vaccine against this coronavirus. But in order to treat this coronavirus, there are several plans can do to fight the COVID-19. Do you want to know what kind of plant is that? Let's go! I will tell you. Garlic, or its scientific name is Allium sativum, is suggested as a beneficial preventive measure before being infected with SARS-CoV virus. Garlic seems to increase the immune system function. It stimulates macrophages, lymphocytes, NK cells, DC, and eosinophils by mechanism including modulation of cytokine secretion, immunoglobulin synthesis, phagocytosis, and macrophage activation. Actually, in the garlic, it has allicin. Allicin is an active biologically component of garlic and it shows antimicrobial activity. In recently performed studies, it was also reported that this functional food has combats against malaria parasite, tumor growth, and cytomegalovirus. Besides that, in our body, there is a leptin. Leptin leads to appetite decrease. Decreased leptin concentration caused by garlic may be helpful to alleviate appetite loss observed in patients with COVID-19 infection. Wow, that's wonderful, right, about the garlic? Apart from that, garlic also being used by modern technique to develop respiratory masks. Wow, that's so impressive. Respiratory mask. Okay, now let's continue. For your information, garlic also involved in development of respiratory masks. This is because in this pandemic era, the transmission of COVID-19 infection mainly occurs through coughing or sneezing, where infectious particles of variable size may be inhaled. Since infectious microorganisms may be transmitted by a variety of routes, respiratory and facial protection is required for those that are usually transmitted via droplets. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) and the World Health Organization WHO guidelines recommends the usage of medical masks to healthcare providers during patient care in high-risk situations. Thus, the use of surgical masks, eye protectors, and gloves can be considered as appropriate personal protective equipment for prevention of COVID-19. Currently, the majority of the respiratory masks have a pore size that is larger than viruses, so it is a key challenge for researchers to deactivate the pathogen before entering the system. This brings in the research that it focuses on the treatment of filter with material possessing well-known antimicrobial properties. The strategy is to develop fibrous filtration with three-layered masks using the compound from medicinal plants such as garlic for viral deactivation. Alright, this is a picture show that how medicinal plant was being used by modern technique to produce respiratory masks. In detail, this figure show the process involved in the production of the mask with medicinal plant infused filter as a precautionary measure against viruses. So this is for prevention and deactivation of the viruses lah. In conclusion, there are a lot of plant contribution in order to fight COVID-19. We as humans must be thankful and conserve the plants well for the future generation, and also we must fight the COVID-19. Remember, we are still in recovery movement control order, yeah? So, please take care of yourself, keep your social distancing, always wash your hand and keep sanitized. Last but not least, please wear the face mask if needed. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for watching.